Do you hear about that fucking object that's hurtling towards Earth at like 130,000 miles an hour?
No, that might solve all our problems.
So like, what killed the dinosaurs? Well,
Right.
It wasn't just one thing, you know?
Right.
There was like a whole bunch of things happened in a row. If there are a lot of aliens, well, I mean, the invasion ship slash...
3i Atlas is tearing through our solar system, and nothing about it makes sense.
NASA detected a mysterious object speeding toward Earth, and some actual bona fide experts think it might not be your typical space rock or maybe any kind of rock or a natural phenomenon at all.
Officially labeled the third interstellar object ever detected, it's already behaving in ways no comet should.
A new out-of-this-world discovery has some asking, what in the world is this? Take a look. NASA scientists say it's a comet. That's what they say. They've named it the 3-1 Atlas interstellar object, which was discovered last month.
Moving at more than 255,000 kilometers per hour, its trajectory looks unnervingly precise.
We've got some fresh images of 3i Atlas, a third ever interstellar object observed from Earth, currently racing through our solar system.
Its sudden brightening is unnatural, and its massive tail grew far too quickly. Now Elon Musk has issued a stark warning about what Atlas might really be, and NASA's silence is only fueling suspicion. Musk sounds the alarm. Recently, Elon Musk did what no one at NASA seemed willing to do. He broke the silence and warned that 3i Atlas is no ordinary comet. The timing was striking. Just weeks earlier, telescopes around the world had confirmed that the strange interstellar object had suddenly developed a massive, fast-growing tail, doubling in size overnight. For most official channels, the explanation was routine outgassing, the natural shedding of dust and ice as comets heat up near the sun. But Musk wasn't convinced. He pointed out the first anomaly: its speed. 3i Atlas is racing through our solar system at over 255,000 kilometers per hour, 152,000 miles per hour. That velocity alone puts it beyond the reach of any known gravitational slingshot or simple cometary drift. Comets don't just do this, Musk believed, and he wasn't alone in his concern. But Musk didn't stop there. He reminded the world that Oumuamua, the first interstellar object ever detected, had also displayed unexplainable acceleration as it left our solar system. This is something no simple rock or ice body should have done. Back then, mainstream scientists brushed it off as outgassing we couldn't detect. But now, with 3i Atlas, Musk argued the same excuse was being recycled to explain something that didn't fit into existing models. He said outright that the similarities between the two interstellar visitors were too much to ignore. Then came the statement that turned whispers into alarm. Musk questioned why NASA, the world's most advanced space agency, remained so quiet. In his words, their silence looked less like scientific caution and more like deliberate withholding of information. For someone who had spent years working alongside NASA on major space projects, this was no small accusation. His words hit a nerve. Was the agency trying to prevent panic, or was there something deeper they weren't ready to admit? Since then, amateur astronomers flooded online forums with their own telescope footage, trying to make sense of the object's shifting glow and growing tail. Some insisted Musk was exaggerating to push his own narrative. Others countered that he had little to gain by stirring fear unless he truly believed the danger was real. While some mainstream scientists urged calm and emphasized natural explanations, the undeniable truth remained. Musk had dragged 3i Atlas into the spotlight. He had forced the public to confront questions that NASA itself seemed unwilling to address. And that left one chilling question echoing louder than all the rest. If Elon Musk is sounding the alarm, what exactly does he know that we don't? This warning drew everyone's attention back to 3i Atlas's unusual behavior, prompting scientists to re-examine the object's earliest sightings and the first indications that something was amiss. First sightings, first doubts. The object now called 3i Atlas was first flagged by the Asteroid Terrestrial Impact Last Alert System, ATLAS, in Hawaii in late July 2025. ATLAS is an automated telescope system built to detect incoming asteroids that might strike Earth, but instead its cameras picked up something faint and strange. It appeared only as a dim, diffuse speck, a barely there smear of light moving against the backdrop of the stars. At first, astronomers thought they had logged just another interstellar comet, the third ever seen after the cigar-shaped Oumuamua in 2017 and the hyperactive Borisov in 2019. But even in those early hours, some details stood out as unsettling. Its entry vector was traced back towards Sagittarius, the part of the sky that leads directly to the galactic center. Astronomers normally expect interstellar debris to wander in at random angles, yet here was something aligned with the most gravitationally turbulent region in the Milky Way. As Elon Musk later emphasized, this was no casual detail. Objects from that direction carry a fingerprint of hidden forces. Then came the size estimates. Based on its faint brightness and speed, early calculations suggested that Atlas was between 5 and 50 kilometers wide. To put that in perspective, the asteroid that wiped out the dinosaurs 66 million years ago was around 10 kilometers across. Even on the lower end of estimates, Atlas was large enough to trigger planet-wide destruction if its path intersected Earth. Scientists stressed there was no immediate danger, as the trajectory did not point toward collision, but the numbers were chilling nonetheless. The first images were little help. Observatories in Chile and Spain managed to capture it, but the object appeared round and oddly uniform, more like a faint sphere of light than the irregular rocky body astronomers expected. Unlike Borisov, which had a bright cometary tail right from the start, or Oumuamua, which showed bizarre shifts in brightness as if tumbling, Atlas was simply too indistinct for comfort. As reports circulated, Musk reportedly cited a remark from one unnamed astrophysicist that objects like this don't just wander. They either follow forces we don't yet understand, or they're following something else entirely. Most dismissed the quote as speculation, but it echoed growing whispers within the scientific community. The object's sheer speed, combined with its strange approach vector and vague appearance, raised the first cracks of doubt. Things escalated further when updated images arrived in early August. Using the Subaru telescope in Hawaii and the Very Large Telescope in Chile, astronomers noticed subtle but unmistakable changes. Atlas seemed to be brightening too quickly, far faster than natural models could explain. A normal comet warms gradually as it approaches the sun, shedding gas and dust in a predictable curve. Atlas, however, appeared to jump in brightness in uneven bursts, as if reacting to something unseen. That was when speculation turned uneasy. Some said it could be due to frozen gases exploding from within, pockets of volatile ice suddenly venting into space. Others, like Avi Loeb, suggested that such bursts might be artificial activity, though no one could prove it. What unsettled people most was the fact that the object seemed to change on a timescale of days instead of months, almost as if it were adjusting itself. For the public, most of these findings passed unnoticed and were buried in technical papers and astronomy databases. But for Musk and a handful of outspoken researchers, these anomalies painted a far darker picture. The real alarm came weeks later, when Atlas sprouted something no one expected. It was a tale that made no sense at all. The tale that shouldn't exist. By late August 2025, astronomers monitoring 3I Atlas were stunned to see something they hadn't expected. A bright, clearly defined tail streaming away from the object. Unlike a typical comet tail, which emerges gradually as frozen gases vaporize in sunlight, this one appeared almost suddenly. The images from the Pan-STARRS Observatory in Hawaii and the European Southern Observatory in Chile showed a long, anti-sunward streak cutting across the dark sky. At first, scientists tried to compare it to Borisov, the second interstellar object detected in 2019, which behaved much like a normal comet. But Atlas refused to follow that script. Instead of growing slowly, its tail seemed to double in length overnight. This was a rate of expansion that had almost no precedent in cometary science. One NASA researcher admitted in a press briefing that they are watching rapid evolution before our eyes. Privately, several insiders confided that the phenomenon was more than unexpected. It was terrifying. Elon Musk wasted no time in reminding that Oumuamua never formed a tail at all, despite passing close enough to the sun to be heated. If Oumuamua baffled scientists for its lack of cometary activity, Atlas was now baffling them for the opposite reason. Its tail was too dramatic, too fast, and too erratic. If one interstellar object doesn't make a tail and another makes one that grows unnaturally fast, we're not looking at coincidence, but something we don't understand. Data from telescopes only made the mystery worse. A normal comet's tail is made of water vapor, dust, and gases like carbon dioxide that get released when the comet's ice warms up in sunlight. But Atlas wasn't behaving normally. Instruments from NASA and the European Space Agency showed that its tail was interacting with the solar wind much more violently than expected. Instead of drifting away gently, it looked electrified, like it was carrying a powerful charge. That detail set off alarms. Comets can have plasma tails, tails full of charged particles. but Atlas's tail was far too sharp and strong. It looked less like natural gas escaping and more like the exhaust from a giant engine. Elon Musk even asked whether this was simple chemistry or if the world was watching a disguised exhaust plume instead of a comet. Astronomers tried to stay cautious. Some suggested Atlas might have unusual ices buried deep inside, releasing gas in sudden violent bursts. Others said interstellar objects are foreign to our solar system, so strange behavior shouldn't be surprising. But off the record, a few admitted the possibility no one wanted to say out loud. Atlas might not be moving on its own. Its strange acceleration and tail formation hinted at something far darker, the idea of deliberate maneuvering. Public panic spread quickly once the news of the tail reached social media. Amateur skywatchers uploaded their own telescope images, showing the streak lengthening over successive nights. Musk's steady drumbeat of warnings gave those fears structure. If the tail was a kind of exhaust, then Atlas wasn't just drifting through space, but navigating. To resolve the growing storm of doubt, scientists turned to the object's chemical fingerprint. What they found next only pushed the mystery into darker territory. Alien chemistry. Instead of resembling the usual mix of ices and gases found in comets, Atlas appeared to show a striking chemical imbalance. Early spectrographic data suggested that its coma, the glowing cloud around it, contained far more carbon dioxide than water vapor, an unusual ratio compared to most comets in our solar system. Normally, comets are water-rich, with CO2 playing only a secondary role. If confirmed, this difference would make Atlas chemically unlike the frozen bodies astronomers have studied for centuries. Some commentators seized on the odd profile, noting that the ratio seemed closer to the makeup of Mars's thin atmosphere than to a typical comet. Scientists cautioned that this might simply reflect Atlas's interstellar origins, but the comparison still fueled speculation. Why would an object from another star system resemble the chemistry of a planet's atmosphere more than the icy comets we know? The puzzle deepened when telescopes, including the James Webb Space Telescope, JWST, detected unusually strong amounts of carbon monoxide. This molecule is fragile, easily stripped away by cosmic radiation during long journeys through interstellar space. Its presence raised questions. Had Atlas somehow shielded it, or was it more recently exposed? A few researchers even suggested it might carry remnants of a planetary atmosphere frozen into its core, the debris of a world destroyed or ejected from its home system. Astrobiologists offered competing theories. Some argued Atlas could be a shard of a shattered planet, the icy tombstone of a world lost to a supernova or a violent gravitational encounter. Others pushed a more technological angle. Certain theoretical propulsion systems could use carbon monoxide as a fuel. If so, Atlas's chemistry might look less like an accident and more like a deliberate choice. The debate spilled into darker territory when defense analysts raised what they called the camouflage question. If a spacecraft were wrapped in frozen layers of carbon dioxide, water, and dust, it would mimic a comet almost perfectly. Its tail would look natural. Its spectrum would match icy bodies, and yet beneath the surface could be something metallic or even powered. While most scientists dismissed this as unlikely, a handful admitted that such a strategy would be an efficient way to slip unnoticed through a foreign solar system. Every new data point eroded confidence in the simple explanation of just another comet. Official agencies stressed caution, but the growing list of anomalies fed public curiosity. Some wondered why NASA had not addressed the findings more directly. Was it simple scientific caution, or something else? What made the chemistry so unsettling was not only what it revealed, but what it suggested when combined with Atlas's movement. Its extraordinary speed, razor-sharp trajectory, and eerie precision during flybys hinted that the story might not end with its chemistry at all. The answer might lie not in its chemistry, but in the way Atlas moved. Its staggering speed, razor-sharp trajectory, and eerie precision during planetary flybys would raise the stakes far higher. A path too perfect. Astronomers always start by looking at an object's speed to understand where it came from. With 3i Atlas, that first measurement immediately set off alarm bells. But speed wasn't the only issue. It was the path the object was taking. Atlas wasn't flying through our solar system on a random angle. Instead, it was moving almost exactly within the same flat disk where Earth, Mars, Jupiter, and the other major planets orbit the Sun. That is not what scientists expect. Interstellar objects usually enter at odd angles, tilted or skewed compared to the planets. For Atlas to line up so neatly with the planet's orbital plane made some astronomers think this was not a coincidence. Worry grew when researchers plotted Atlas's path more closely. They saw it would pass unusually close to Venus, Mars, and Jupiter. Each of those encounters looked a lot like gravity assists, a technique used by human spacecraft. In simple terms, a spacecraft can swing close to a planet to steal a bit of its gravity, changing speed or direction without using extra fuel. Seeing an interstellar object do the same thing looked less like drifting and more like steering. Harvard astrophysicist Avi Loeb even tried to calculate how unlikely this was. His team estimated the chance of a random interstellar object threading a path like Atlas's, hitting multiple near-planet passes in a row, at about 1 in 20,000. For scientists, that was a big red flag. For Elon Musk, it was proof enough to raise alarms. Numbers like that don't look like chance. They look like navigation. There was another unsettling detail. In late October 2025, Atlas will pass behind the Sun from Earth's point of view. For several weeks, it will be hidden in the Sun's glare, meaning astronomers won't be able to track it with telescopes. This blind period worried even NASA analysts privately. Musk argued it would be the perfect time for an intelligent craft to adjust its path without anyone on Earth noticing until it was too late. Officially, NASA said nothing. No press conference, no public statement. The silence only made people more suspicious. If Atlas were truly just another comet, why worry about a hidden maneuver? And if it might not be a comet, why wasn't NASA preparing the public? This led Musk and others to a darker question. If Atlas is controlled, why does it look exactly like a comet at all? Some began to speculate that the appearance of a comet might be the perfect disguise. A comet is camouflage. Elon Musk often stirs debate with his comments on space, but when he highlighted Harvard astrophysicist Avi Loeb's theory about interstellar objects, it struck a nerve even among scientists. The idea sounds simple, but the implications are terrifying. A comet could be the perfect disguise for alien technology. Why? Because a spacecraft hidden inside a thick layer of ice, dust, and rock would look exactly like a comet to our telescopes. Even under close study, astronomers would only see the hazy, glowing cloud of gas and dust and the bright tail that forms when the sun heats a comet's ices. To scientists, it would look ordinary. To an advanced civilization, this would be the ultimate form of stealth. The disguise works on multiple levels. First, space is full of dangers: cosmic radiation, high-energy particles from stars, and tiny rock fragments called micrometeoroids that hit at incredible speeds. Human spacecraft need thick metal walls or complex magnetic shields to survive deep space. That makes them heavy, expensive, and easy to spot. A comet-like shell solves the problem. A layer of ice and dust several meters thick would absorb radiation and impacts naturally. Instead of drawing attention with obvious protective systems, it would just look like frozen rock. Second, when comets get close to the sun, their ice begins to vaporize, creating a glowing halo and a streaming tail. If a spacecraft were inside, this outflow would act as perfect camouflage. Any emissions from engines, vents, or shielding systems would be drowned out by the natural cloud of gas and dust. Musk pointed to one specific event. Atlas's tail suddenly doubled in size overnight. Was it just an ordinary burst of gas or something more controlled? To him, the possibility that it wasn't entirely natural was too suspicious to ignore. Another detail added fuel to the debate: the unusual plasma activity around Atlas. Plasma is matter so hot that atoms break apart into charged particles, creating an electrified gas. Plasma is common in stars, lightning, and neon lights, and it reacts strongly to magnetic fields. In comets, plasma tails can form when charged particles from the sun push against gases from the comet. But with Atlas, the plasma signature looked far too strong and organized. Instead of a messy stream, it resembled a focused, energetic flow. On Earth, physicists know plasma is hard to control. It's unstable and unpredictable. Yet in some laboratory experiments, plasma shows signs of self-organization, almost as if it can form stable patterns. Musk speculated that what astronomers called coma activity might not be natural at all. It could be an artificial shield, a kind of energy barrier designed to deflect radiation and protect whatever might be inside. If true, the line between comet behavior and advanced engineering becomes disturbingly blurred. Musk argued that this wouldn't be unusual behavior for an advanced species. Human history is full of examples where explorers, armies, or even spies relied on stealth and disguise. From ancient armies painting shields to look like the enemies, to modern submarines hiding under the ocean's surface, deception is a survival tactic. If humans use camouflage to explore and conquer, why wouldn't an alien civilization do the same on an interstellar scale? A disguised probe could slip into a star system, gather information, test reactions, and leave all while the locals argued about whether it was just a comet. What continued to unsettle Musk the most wasn't only the data, it was the silence of NASA. Independent researchers debated openly about Atlas's strange chemistry and plasma behavior. Journalists speculated, but the world's leading space agency remained almost entirely quiet. Musk claimed this wasn't caution, but fear. If officials suspected that Atlas might not be a comet at all, they may have decided the truth was too disruptive for the public to hear. Admitting even the possibility of alien technology would shake governments, religions, and economies around the world. Musk's warning hit harder when paired with an older voice. Stephen Hawking. Years earlier, Stephen Hawking had issued a stark warning about what might happen if humanity ever drew alien attention. Hawking's dark warning. Stephen Hawking once gave a warning that now echoes like a prophecy. He said, "If aliens visit us, the outcome might be similar to when Columbus landed in America, which didn't turn out well for the Native Americans." He was referring to Columbus's arrival in the Americas in 1492, which led to conquest, colonization, and the collapse of indigenous civilizations. Hawking's comparison was blunt. If Earth meets a far more advanced civilization, the result would likely be domination, exploitation, or even annihilation. Elon Musk has drawn this warning into sharp focus, asking if 3I Atlas means that Earth has already been noticed. The possibilities are stark. If Atlas is natural, it may still hold the shattered remains of a lost world. If it is artificial, however, then its purpose divides into only two broad paths. It could be here as a friendly observer, scanning planets and harvesting data, an interstellar explorer like the probes humans dream of sending to other star systems. Or it could be here for reasons far darker, to test, to measure, or to prepare the way for something greater. The danger does not require a massive strike. Musk noted that even a fragment only 12 meters wide could cause devastation on a global scale. History provides grim evidence. The 1908 Tunguska event in Siberia flattened more than 800 square miles of forest when a small asteroid or comet fragment entered the atmosphere and exploded with a force equal to a large nuclear bomb. The blast was caused by the object breaking apart mid-air, releasing its energy in a massive shockwave. If something the size of Atlas or even a piece of it ever impacted, the outcome would be civilization ending. This is why rumors about a classified NASA program called SHIELD 3 began to spread. SHIELD 3, according to leaks, is a rapid response initiative meant to design a way to intercept or disable fast-moving interstellar objects. But the technical challenges are immense. Atlas is traveling at 255,000 kilometers per hour, 152,000 miles per hour. To match its velocity or redirect it would take technology far beyond what is currently possible. At best, Earth could launch a probe for observation. At worst, humanity is left almost defenseless against whatever intentions Atlas carries. This vulnerability is exactly why silence from NASA is so concerning. If there is no way to stop Atlas, then perhaps officials hope to simply ride out its passage without raising panic. Yet ignoring Hawking's warning does not erase the risk. If Atlas is a disguised probe, the real danger might not even be impact. It could be surveillance, data gathering, or testing our awareness, steps that, in human history, often come before conquest. The final judgment will come soon. In late October 2025, Atlas will vanish behind the sun's glare, hidden from every telescope on Earth. When it reemerges weeks later, astronomers will chart its new path. If its course remains natural, it may be dismissed as a comet. But if its trajectory shifts in ways that cannot be explained by physics alone, then the answer will be undeniable. It will mean Atlas was never a comet at all. The universe may already be watching, and Atlas may be the first proof. What do you think Atlas truly is? Comment down below.